The Edo period, a time of beauty and tradition, hid its share of sorrows behind silk screens and golden palaces. In the imperial court, Princess Aiko, the only child of the emperor, lay wasting away. Her mysterious illness defied the knowledge of healers, priests, and sages. Her fragile frame became a shadow of its former vitality, her laughter replaced by whispers of despair. In his desperation, the emperor declared a proclamation that rippled across the land: "Whosoever finds a cure for my daughter shall be rewarded with gold equal to their body weight." This decree reached the ears of two samurai, Hiroshi and Kenta. Hiroshi was known for his unshakable resolve, a man who had stood unyielding in battles. Kenta, his closest companion, was famed for his cunning and resourcefulness. Both were celebrated for their bravery, and their bond was unbreakable. Together, they vowed to undertake the perilous quest to save the princess and bring honor to their names. The journey begins. The pair set out from their village, the blessings of their elders following them. Their path led them into a dense forest, where the air hung heavy with the scent of moss and damp earth. The sun's rays barely pierced the thick canopy above, leaving them in a world of perpetual twilight. For days, they journeyed in near silence, their senses attuned to every rustle and shadow. Their supplies dwindled, but their determination burned bright. On the fifth night, as they made camp near a stream, the stillness was shattered by a low growl. Emerging from the underbrush was a tiger, its amber eyes glinting in the firelight. The beast lunged, and the samurai drew their blades. The battle was fierce, their swords clashing against the tiger's strength. Finally, Kenta struck a precise blow, and the beast retreated into the darkness, leaving them bruised but alive. The encounter was a grim reminder of the dangers ahead, yet it only steeled their resolve. As days turned to weeks, their journey grew more arduous. The forest seemed endless. Hunger gnawed at their bellies, and exhaustion dulled their senses. One evening, they came across an old woman sitting beneath a crooked tree. Her hair was silver as moonlight, and her voice trembled as she pleaded for help. She claimed she was searching for her lost son, who had vanished in the forest years ago. "I know of a flower," she said, her voice barely above a whisper, "one with petals so purple they glow in the dark. It is said to cure any disease. Help me find my son, and I will lead you to this miracle." Though wary, the samurai could not ignore her plight. They agreed to guide her, hoping the promise of the flower was true. The trio ventured deeper into the forest, where the trees grew twisted and gnarled, their roots snaking like veins over the forest floor. As night fell, the samurai gathered wood to kindle a fire. Among the shadows, they discovered a peculiar tree with a face etched into its bark. The tree spoke, its voice deep and resonant. "Beware the woman who walks with you," it warned. "She wears a mask of frailty, but beneath it lies darkness. Leave her, or your path will lead to ruin." The samurai exchanged uneasy glances, but the old woman laughed softly. "Hallucinations," she said, shaking her head. "This forest plays tricks on weary minds. Hunger and fatigue can make the strongest warriors see ghosts." Hiroshi and Kenta hesitated but eventually dismissed the warning, attributing it to their growing weariness. As the journey continued, the forest's oppressive atmosphere grew heavier. Strange sounds filled the night, whispers, rustling leaves, and distant howls. One evening, as they set up camp, a pack of wolves emerged from the shadows. Their glowing eyes reflected an unnatural intelligence, and their low growls sent shivers down the samurai's spines. The wolves did not attack but encircled them, their presence a menacing omen. The old woman waved her hand, murmuring strange words, and the wolves retreated. "The forest is full of creatures that prey on fear," she said. "Stay close to me, and you will be safe." Finally, they reached the edge of the Black Forest, a place shrouded in legend and fear. The old woman stopped abruptly, "I cannot enter," she said. "This place negates my powers. But inside, you will find a tree with blue fruits. Beneath it grows the flower you seek. Bring it to me, and I will tell you how to use it." Hiroshi and Kenta stepped into the black forest. Whispers swirled around them, insidious and cruel, planting seeds of doubt and despair. Kenta faltered, tears streaming down his face as the voices grew unbearable. Hiroshi steadied him. After hours of relentless whispers, they reached the tree. Its blue fruits glimmered faintly, and beneath its roots, the coveted purple flowers bloomed. They picked 2 flowers and fled the forest, eager to leave its darkness behind. Outside the forest, they presented 1 flower to the old woman. She took it with trembling hands, rubbing its petals against her skin. Before their eyes, her frail form transformed into a stunningly beautiful young woman. Amazed, the samurai raced back to the imperial court with the 2nd flower, dreaming of glory and riches. The court buzzed with anticipation as the samurai recounted their tale. "This flower," Hiroshi declared, "has the power to heal any disease. We saw its magic firsthand." An old woman transformed into a young maiden upon touching its petals. The court murmured in astonishment, their eyes fixed on the radiant woman who stood beside the samurai. The emperor's gaze narrowed. "Show us proof of this transformation," he commanded. The woman hesitated, then lifted the hem of her robe, revealing her feet. The sight sent a ripple of shock through the court. While her body was youthful, her feet remained gnarled and aged, a stark reminder of her former state. "She speaks the truth," a courtier exclaimed. The emperor's doubt gave way to cautious hope. He turned to the royal physician. "Prepare the princess immediately. If this flower can restore her, I will reward these men as promised." The royal physician hesitated, sensing something amiss, but his objections were dismissed. As the petals were gently applied to the princess's frail body, the room held its collective breath. For a fleeting moment, she stood up, her pale cheeks regained color, and her eyelids fluttered open. But before anyone could rejoice, her body stiffened, her skin turning to cold, unyielding stone. Gasps and cries erupted from the court. The once fragile princess now stood frozen in a pose of eternal repose. Her beauty preserved but her life stolen. The emperor's face twisted in anguish as the room descended into chaos. The emperor, enraged, ordered their execution. But before his guards could act, the witch revealed her true form, her beauty melting away to expose her monstrous visage. She hissed, "You threw me and my son out of this village, and your greed and cruelty took my son. Now, your daughter is lost to you, as mine was to me. No power on this earth will break this curse." Devastated by the tragic outcome, the emperor poured all his remaining resources into finding a cure for the curse, but every effort failed. He summoned healers, mystics, and scholars from every corner of the world, yet none could undo the petrification that had claimed Princess Aiko. In his sorrow, the emperor ordered the construction of a grand mausoleum. Within its walls, Princess Aiko's stone figure was placed on a pedestal of jade. The tomb became a shrine, not of triumph but of eternal grief. Burdened by guilt, the emperor abdicated his throne. He distributed his vast wealth to the poor, offering reparations to those he had wronged during his reign. No longer cloaked in the trappings of power, he wandered the countryside, seeking redemption through acts of kindness and humility. In his final years, the emperor often visited his daughter's tomb, sitting in silence as the winds whispered through the cherry blossoms planted nearby. On his deathbed, he confessed his regrets to those who cared for him, warning them of the dangers of greed and desperation. After his passing, the story of the cursed flower became a legend, passed down through generations. The mausoleum of Princess Aiko still stands, weathered by time but visited by pilgrims who whisper prayers for peace.